What's going on, guys? I'm back. I know it's been a while. Haven't posted any videos lately. It's been hot. It's summertime down here in Florida, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's hot in this garage to be working on this car. I don't like working in the heat, so that's really why, to be honest with you, I haven't been posting too many videos. For the most part, just living life, working day to day. But I still got projects I want to do to this car, and I have one right now that I want to do, but that's not what today's video is about. As you can see in the description and the title, I'm going to be answering comments and questions that y'all been asking. I know I haven't been getting back to y'all like I should have, but I'm going to make up for that today in this video. So I'm going to be answering a lot of questions and responding to a lot of comments that I get about this car and about what I do. So let's go ahead and get that started. But we're going to do this in the house because it's hot out here. It's like 100 degrees in Florida. So nobody trying to be outside in this heat working on cars or doing videos. So I'm going to go ahead and give y'all a cold start and we'll go in the house. Alright guys, we're in the house where it's nice and cool at, so I got my iPad here, so I'm going to just read off a couple of, as many questions as I can answer. I know some of you guys asked these questions a while ago. I apologize I didn't get back to you, but I'm bad at reading the comments on here, but I'm going to try to do better, answering y'all questions as quick as I can. But here we go. I'm going to start with the first one. And also, I want to start out by saying I apologize for leaving y'all hanging because I haven't been making videos. My first video all summer is pretty much the end of the summer. So, like I said, it's been hot outside, and I don't like working on cars out in the heat. I'm pretty sure a lot of you don't, so hope y'all can understand that. But here we go. So the first question that I have is from Devil Claire. And I'm going to try to put these up on the screen so you guys can see the questions. He says, dude, I have the exact same issue. ABC works fine, but no power steering unless I rev it up some. Have you figured this out? Tell me it was in the pump, please. And he's referring to a video that I made a while back about my power steering pump come out. And yes, it was the pump. And yes, I had to replace it. It wasn't a hard replace, but instead of just replacing the pump, I ended up replacing the whole suspension and just a one and done type of deal. That's how I like to do. So I don't like going in and doing stuff twice. So that's what I did with that. Next question is from Interstate Boss. And it goes, let us know how it rides. I'm considering doing this to my CL500. By now you guys know how I feel about the ABC suspension. I think it's a great suspension, but it has its issues, it has its flaws like any car that's over 20 years old. So I went ahead and replaced mine with the yellow speed coilover struts, adjustable, and been happy ever since. So that's what I did. That was my decision. I mean, to each his own. It's your car, you do what you want with it. It's your business. But that's what I did with mine, and I've been happy ever since. Okay, next question. This is kind of a funny one. From Fair Game 70, it said, what happened to you talking when you got to the wires? LOL, I was focused. Yeah, I was focused too, and I didn't even realize I stopped talking while I was making a video. But I'm gonna go back, and I'm probably gonna make another video explaining in more depth about how I changed out my radio, how I fixed the issue, because I know a lot of people are told once the radios go out, because it's a fiber optic system, that you can't pretty much do anything with it, which in one way is true and one way is not. It's true that you can't really do too much to the fiber optic system, but you can run your own system through the car with your own wires and your own amps and your own everything, and it'll work fine. You don't need a factory radio, and well, at least the pre-facelift cars, you don't need the factory radio in it. I'm not sure about 2003 and up if it's a security feature, because I don't have one, but I know from 2000 to 2002, you don't need the factory radio because you can put any radio you want in there and it'll work fine. Now this next one, it kind of goes back to the suspension again. I have a lot of questions about those, but I'm gonna go ahead and answer them anyway. From D. Taylor, it says, do you have to change the power steering pump when you change over the suspension? Yes, you do, because you don't have the ABC suspension anymore. So the power steering pump, it manages the ABC suspension and your power steering at the same time. It's two pumps in one, basically. So when you delete the ABC suspension, there's no need for that extra part of the pump. So what I did was I went and got a pump. I believe it was from E-Class Mercedes, or it could have been from an S-Class. I have to go back and look, but I'll definitely put that in the description and let y'all know what pump I use and where I got it from. But yeah, you definitely have to switch out your power steering pump when you do the suspension swap. It's not hard, it just takes a little bit of time and patience, but anybody can do it that's mechanically inclined to work on cars. And also, to you guys that, keep shouting me out, telling me keep the videos coming, I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. Love the comments. Y'all keep them coming. Don't stop. Like I said, I'm going to try to get to them as many as I can. So, keep the love coming, guys. All right, this next one is from Fallout Boy Warzone Spectating. And it goes, yo, I see those cuts, LOL. Did you do it yourself? Kind of crappy job, no offense. I'm thinking about doing something similar to, did simple tablet work, or needed something more compatible. Just connect sound, right controls below are intact. Climatronic and whatever else there is. I guess he's talking about the climate control and everything. But yeah, it was a kind of a crappy job, I'm gonna be honest with you, because it was supposed to be a temporary fix. I just never got back around to it. I'm supposed to have a 10.5 inch screen in there, but I only got a 7-inch right now because I was just really testing it out because I wasn't sure if it was going to work or not, or any adjustments I was going to have to do. So the cutout part, you're really not supposed to see. So that's why it looks the way it looks. Some people use iPads or tablets in their cars. That's not what I did. I just went for a radio. I got it off of Amazon. It's a 7-inch, but I'm definitely gonna be upgrading, getting a 10-inch. So I'm gonna be doing that soon. And let's see what else just connect sound rating tag, climate control. Well, yeah, you just connect the sound, and you don't even touch the climate controls, so you don't even have to worry about those. Those are separate from radio. Okay, and this is another one from Fallout Boy. I appreciate you, Fallout Boy, for asking these questions. I'm sorry I don't get to them as soon as I can, but I'm answering them. So here we go. He says, how the heck did you add custom amplifiers? Everyone I asked said it was impossible, LOL. Painted gasket covers when I was changing sealers too, ha ha ha. Yeah, I mean, they told me the same thing, it was impossible, but I've been hooking up amps and speakers to my car since I was in high school, since I was like 16 years old. So I could run a system and not even touch anything in the car. So basically meaning I run my own wires, and that's basically what the same thing you do with these cars. It's funny to me because when people hear Mercedes, they automatically get shook and, oh, well, that's going to be expensive. But no, it's just, at the end of the day, it's just a car. Still a car. You can run whatever you want, your own independent system through the car if you want. And that's what I did. I ran my own independent speaker system through the car, basically. My wires for my radio, my amp. I just hooked it up to the factory speakers. I took the fiber optic cables off, ran my own speaker wires, ran my own amp wires and everything to the battery, grounded it, just like you would any other car. But that's all it is to it. It's not that complicated, really. People will try to overcomplicate it so they could charge you a ton of money just to do it just because of the name Mercedes is on it. But it's really not that complicated. So don't let people beat you in the head over prices and stuff when it comes to your car. And this next one is from a guy that I also watch on YouTube. He's a YouTuber, Big Shane, Little Shane. He says, how did you get it to fit in the wood dash molding? Let's see it installed. You should have a video on how to bypass the stereo and hard wiring. And you're correct. I should have did that, but I'm not going to lie. I'm lazy sometimes when it comes to these videos. I'm figuring out as I go. And getting that radio in the dash was a beast. I'm not going to lie to you. I had to fabricate my own in-dash setup for it. And it was not easy. And it was not pretty. So that's why I didn't do it. I almost gave up on it because it's hard to find a kit that will fit into that dash. So basically I had to get my own piece of plastic from another kit. It was just a black piece of plastic that came with it. And I basically had to buy 3 different kits and put them together and to get that radio in there like I did. So that's why I wasn't in no rush to take it back out and switch it back out to the 10-inch. Now, as far as the wiring, I could do another video on that. But like I said, it's just an independent system from the car. I believe I got it hooked up to one of the lights inside the car that cuts on when you turn on the ignition. That was the trick. So the radio only cuts on when I turn the ignition on. It doesn't stay on, so it don't drain the battery. So you have to find a wire, a hot wire, like a light, tail light, headlight, or any kind of wire that only turns on when you turn the ignition on. There's plenty of wires in the car that does that. You just gotta test them, see which ones stay on and stay off when the ignition is on and off. It's a little trial and error, a little tedious sometimes, but it could be done. I did it. So that's how I get my radio stay on when the car's on and cuts off as soon as the car cuts off. Now, but yeah, I think I am going to do another video on that because I did kind of leave y'all hanging on that one. But we'll get that done when it's cooler. Okay. From J. Williams, he says, which fuse disables the red ABC light on the dash? Just got yellow speech. Thanks, bro. All right. Now, this one was a little tricky because I know it's different for some reason in the cars. The 2002 is different than the 2003 on up. So I know in my car, it was the 5 amp fuse on the passenger side fuse box under the hood. Little 5 amp fuse. I pulled that out. The red light went away, never came back. But a display error does appear when you do that on the dashboard. But you just hit the little reset button on the dashboard next to your instrument cluster and it goes away. But I mean, it is going to cut on every time you cut on the car. You just clear it out like you do anything else. But you know, it's better than seeing that red ABC light stay on. So that's what I did to clear that light. Some comments in here too, like Scooty Puff Jr. Mercedes used many inferior grade parts and components during this era. I hope they have improved. I've had a W126 and loved it. Now I have a W220 S600 and don't trust it to drive across the street. Well, my response to that is you're right in some cases, but I mean, it's still a good car. It's still a Mercedes. Yeah, they had their issues with those years, but I mean, car is over 20 years old. It's gonna have issues. So I mean, my opinion, if you don't know how to work on a car, don't complain about it when a 20-year-old car breaks down or something goes wrong, because something's gonna go wrong. It's a used car. It's not a new car. So I'm pretty sure it's seen plenty of miles and traveled a lot, and you know, it's a car. So even new cars, after 5 years, they start having issues. So 20-year car, that's a given. So I wouldn't even stress about that. But you're right. They did use some inferior parts. There was a lot of electrical gremlins in those cars. But I mean, for the most part, for the car I've had and the condition it was in when I got it and to where it's at now, man, those engines are bulletproof. I don't care what nobody says. Them engines are great. They last. You can beat on them, modify them, do whatever, and they still keep going. So, yeah, to each his own. That's what I got to say about that. All right, so the next one is from Jesse Pittner. And he's commenting on when I had my shifter issue in my car, which almost made me scrap that car because nobody could help me. Nobody knew what was wrong. Nobody knew how to fix it. I had to figure it out on my own. So it took me months to figure out how to fix this car when the shifter went wrong. So this is what he had to say. I have the same issue on my CL600 limp mode and no display on the gear selection on the dash. And I did my shifter as well. I was told the transmission faults need to be reset, and also was told to check the plug that goes into transmission for oil leak. I'm waiting to get my I'm waiting to get my iCarSoft MB2 scan tool to reset my faults and read what they are. I'm suspecting it may be the plug cheap fix before I get a new TCM. That would be my last step. I hope you get it worked out. I'm in the exact same issue as you if you get it figured out. Or vice versa, let me know and I'll let you know what I find. Thanks for the good video. I hope you fixed it, Jesse, because like I said, man, I almost just sold the car and got rid of it because of this issue. But it was a simple fix. And that's what I keep telling people. These cars, the dealer is automatically going to try to intimidate you and make you think you got to spend a ton of money, but you don't. But basically what I had to do for that problem, if your shifter light ever goes out on your dash and the car won't shift and it's like in limp mode, the easiest thing to do first is check the little plug that he's talking about that goes in the transmission that's known for getting oil on it. That is a common issue with the car. But in my case, it wasn't an issue. I ended up changing the solenoids, the valve body, basically gutted the transmission, changed that out, still didn't work. Spent all that money and time on that for nothing. Wasn't an issue because that's what I was told. So I changed the plug that he's talking about, wasn't that. So finally, I started doing research, had to go online. I'm going to save you guys a whole bunch of time. If it's none of the above, it's your gear selector. If the gear selector gets wet or anything gets on it, it can short circuit. And that's, I believe, what happened in my case. Because the cup holder is right next to the gear selector. So if your cup sweats, leaks in, and water gets on it, it's a wrap. It's done. So what you have to do, it's easy fix, but like I said, I had to figure this out. And they sell these on eBay. You have to get, first for one, you have to get a new gear selector. You have to get a new ignition switch, and you have to get a new engine ECU. Those three things, but they have to come from the same car. That's the trick. You got to get it from the same car. It's not going to work if it don't. Also, oh, you got to get it reprogrammed. Oh, you got to take it to the dealer, do this or that. No, you don't. It's easy. When I say easy, it's easy to fix. And that's what I did. I replaced my gear selector, my ignition switch, and my engine ECU. Haven't had a problem since. Works fine. My mileage is still on my car. My original mileage didn't change. Nothing changed with the car. No lights on the dash to this day. So that's what I did. Take it from me. Take it or leave it. But that's what I did. Okay, some of you are asking, like Fox77 asked about when I was doing the transmission, what size fittings you use and what type is it called. I have a C320 2002. I'm about to do the same thing as you. About to order parts plus fluid. The fluid I will use is the Shell ATF-134. Okay. So basically, I just used the bolts that were already there. My drain pan fitting for my transmission is seized up. I could not get it loose without tearing it up or stripping it out. So basically, I didn't drain it through there. I just unbolted the pan. I had another pan underneath to catch all the transmission fluid, and I drained it like that. But yeah, I'm not sure what size fitting to use for that. I can't remember off the top of my head. All right, so the next one is from Bugs Bacon, and he's commenting on the ABC suspension. Says, honest, best comment was the ABC is a luxury. You missed it. I think if money is no object, the ABC would stay or even go for the F1 performance package. People like this make me laugh sometimes. I'm like, if money was no object, I would not be driving a 2002 CL500. And the F1 performance package is not a common package you find on that car. So if you do find one, you're lucky. So that's, for one, that's not like something you could just go out and find. But as far as the ABC being luxury, yeah, it is luxury. But it's outdated. It's had its run. It's over 20 years old now. I said this in a comment on Facebook. I mean, if you plan on keeping the ABC, which is totally your choice, you're going to be spending money repairing something on that system. If it was me, if I did decide to keep the ABC, the route I would go is I would replace everything with upgraded parts, probably custom fabricated parts as far as like the lines. I would put better lines in there, hydraulic lines in there. I would have better accumulators put in, my own design. Go to machine shop, go to different fabricators. You could fabricate them. It's really not as hard as you think. But that's the route I would go. I would just go through and replace everything. The only thing I probably couldn't replace was the ABC pump. You were stuck with that because I don't think there's another replacement for that. Unless you're some great engineer that can design a new pump. I mean, if you can do that, more power to you. But that's the route I would do if I was to keep the ABC. It'll be expensive, but I mean, if you're going to keep it and you're going to do it, you might as well do it right. Because the system that they have, it breaks down so much. It's not reliable. I mean, I like a peace of mind being able to get in my car and go and not be stuck sitting on the side of the road because my suspension went out. To me, that's kind of, I don't want to say dumb, but that's a dumb reason to be sitting on the side of the road, to be honest with you, because your suspension went out. Let it be something with the engine or transmission or something, but your suspension, nah. So that's the reason why I went with Yellow Speed. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody that got the ABC, because like I said, it's a comfortable ride, great handling, but to me, it's not worth it. That's my opinion. It's not worth it. I mean, money being no object, I ain't even gonna go there, but y'all already know. So, next one. This is from Wilbert Wilson. Trying to decide if I want to go coilovers, have a problem with the valve blocks, need a rebuild. One side of the car will sag a little after setting up for a week. Not a daily driver. Weekend 2006 CL500. Now, the valve blocks are pretty easy to rebuild. You want to keep the car original, like I said, go ahead and rebuild it. It's not a daily driver. Either way, you let the car sit, it's gonna sag. I don't think there's no getting around that. But usually, 9 times out of 10, you go to crank the car back up, it'll rise and level itself out. That's what my car was doing before I switched over. It'll drop when I let the car sit for like a day or two. As soon as I turn the key on, it'll go right back up, be at its normal height, no problem, no issues. Yeah, man, like I said, it's a personal choice. You go coilovers, it's not going to be the same ride, but it's still going to handle very well. It's a very well put together car. So either way, the car is going to handle well. So it's your choice of what you want to do with that. Now the next one is from Dak Mire. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but I don't know how to pronounce that. But from Dak. Hi, can you please tell me how you cleared the light on the dash? I already answered that. 5-amp fuse, passenger side, fuse box under the dash. That's what I did. But I think if you got a 2003 or newer, it's on the right side, but it's a different fuse. I think it's a 10-amp fuse. Not 100% sure, don't quote me on that, but I can only speak for the car I got. And this is from Fair Game 70 asking about the headlights that I replaced in my car, light bulbs. So it says, bro, do you have a link for the LED headlights from HID? I've been looking but can't find any for the headlights. Yes, I have a link. I'm gonna put it in the description below. I got them off of Amazon, surprisingly. It took me a couple of pairs to buy to find out which ones I like. I think I ran through about 3 or 4 pair before I found ones that I like. So you have to be careful which ones you buy on Amazon, but I definitely will leave the description in the link below in the description, so you can see which ones I bought. And this next one is from David. I'm gonna just say David because I don't know how to pronounce that last name. So David, I have the same exact problem on my PROJECTCL500, same color as yours. Had mine over 5 years. I got a lot of work. This issue with the gear selector and power steering pump issue. Keep doing what you do. I have 2 of these cars, so I know the headaches. Thank you, David. You know the struggle when it comes to these cars. And he's talking about the gear selector issue that I had that I explained already, which took me forever to figure out, but I got it. So now you guys know how to do it. If you ever run across this, I got y'all. Just watch the video. I explain everything that I did, the tool you have to buy. And I think I spent around $300 for everything, which ain't bad. So, like I said, the car still running to this day with no problem. Didn't have to get a program or anything. So, y'all welcome. Next one is from Julio Padilla. Did you have to replace the power steering pump when converting, as I heard others suggested? Yes, you have to replace the power steering pump when you convert to coilovers. So, watch the videos, you will see that. This next one is from Tri-Pyramid Pictures. And it's asking about the transmission conductor plate and the shift solenoid and all that good stuff. But basically, he says, that's what I had to do, drain the pan by loosening the bolts. My drain plug was rusted too. I use Valvoline too. I have a 2002 C320 4MATIC. Yes, for some reason, those drain plugs in the transmission will seize, and you cannot get them off. So he did the same thing I did. Take the bolts loose on the pan, drain it that way, put a new seal on it, pop it right back in. It's really not that complicated. It's a really easy job. It's just, if you don't have a lift, you have to use a jack to get up under the car. Because my car sits low. It's a pain in the ass getting up under there, but man, you just gotta have patience with these cars. I'm telling you. And he also says, I enjoy your videos. I want to thank you for that. Keep the support up. Try Pyramid Pictures. Appreciate you. And he also said he left a couple of comments on here, so I'm gonna read some of his comments. He was telling me about new key shell because I had to use the new key. That's the other thing. I left that part out, but it's in the video though if you watch the video. But when you get your ignition switch replaced when you're doing the shifter and the engine ECU, make sure it comes with the key, because mine came with the key. It was the ugly key. I didn't really like it. But he's saying here you can get a brand new key shell from eBay and Amazon for silly cheap. Then simply swap the brain from one key to another. I did the same for my C320. Yeah, I was gonna do that, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I actually kind of got used to using it. I still got the original key, so I mean, it really wasn't that big of a deal to me. I could always swap it out, but maybe I'll get around to it one day and do a video on it. We'll see. And he also says, the more I work on my C320, I'm always amazed at how well engineered these cars are. Very well thought out, unlike other cars. I thought a BMW E46 was easy to work on. For instance, the fuel pump only took me 15 minutes to change, whereas most you have to drop the gas tank, etc. Yeah, these cars are very well put together, very well engineered, but they're really simple to work on. And I keep trying to tell people this, these Mercedes cars are super easy to work on. The trick is with these cars that I notice is you have to have tools for these cars because they make special tools for some stuff for these cars. So as long as, and they sell them online all day, a lot of them are pretty cheap. So you just have to do your research and find out what tools you need for the job. You get the tool and you do it just like any other car. But that's how they get you though with these Mercedes. It's a Mercedes. So you gotta spend $1,000 to get a light bulb changed, but it's not that complicated to work on your own car. And I always say these cars are for people who have a garage or a driveway that work on their own cars on the weekends or whatever. That's what these cars are for now, because you're not gonna take this car to the dealership, a 20-year-old car to the dealership and get it worked on and expect it to be cheap. There's a lot of stuff they probably don't even make anymore for this car. You got to use other parts for it, but luckily this car shares a lot of parts with other cars that Mercedes makes. So, all right. Next question, Donnie Hagen. Question: will the splash shield from a 220 fit a 215? I've got a 2000 CL500 that the previous owner removed the shields and didn't put them back. I'm having trouble finding them for a 215, but a bunch of 220 shields are out there. Let me know, and thanks. To be honest with you, Donnie, I don't know. My first reaction would be to say no, it wouldn't fit, but you never know. I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know the answer to that question. I'll try to find out, but I really don't know the answer to that question. The front ends I know are different design, but they still have interchangeable parts. Like you could put a 220 front end on a 215 front end, and vice versa, and they'll swap right out with very little modification. But so it might fit. Just get one and try it. Worst come to worst, it don't fit, and you have to return it. But yeah, that's what I would do. I just buy one offline, cheapest one you can find. Buy it offline, see if it fit. If it don't, it don't. You always try to go to a junkyard to find one, but it's going to be hard finding one of these cars in a junkyard. At least where I live at, because I've checked and there's none. And like I said, I want to thank everybody that give me shout outs on here, and like what I do. I try to be consistent as I can, but like I said, man, I got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. So, plus I'm a family man, so I try to make videos when I can. And the summertime is not a big time for me to make videos because it's too hot to be working on these cars. Maybe one day I get my own garage with AC or something, and I'll be able to do these videos year round. But it is what it is. All right, so the next one is from Gentry Smith, and they're asking, is the X pipe in place of the secondary cats or the resonator? All right, so the X pipe that I put in my car is in fact in place of the secondary cats, or no, the resonators. It's in place of the resonators. So where the resonators used to sit, that's where I have my X pipe sitting. And then it's going straight from that X pipe straight to the back to the tips. So that's how the setup is. And you can see that in the video. Once you look at it, you can tell the resonators, because I deleted the resonators first before I deleted the mufflers on the car. So yeah, the X pipes, I just put it in place of where the resonator will be and just ran the pipe straight back to the tips. Okay, the next one is from G-Man. I have an 03 CL600 with a Rentec CL65 upgrade ECU. Nice. Love the car, but developed a severe ABC leak and now ready to do the conversion. There are 2 available kit, Strut Masters and Yellow Speed Racing. Did you compare the 2 and why did you go with Yellow Speed? Did you have to shop, do the conversion, and what was your total cost? Did you also replace the power steering pump to the E500? Thanks for your efforts to produce this video. First of all, thank you, G-Man. It's not easy making videos on YouTube, especially if somebody's not used to being in front of a camera or even using a camera. Like, this is all new to me, so I'm still learning as I go. So forgive me if my videos aren't perfect, but I try to do the best I can. As far as the question, his first question was about either Strut Masters or Yellow Speed. I went with Yellow Speed. And I did do my research before I went with Yellow Speed. I just didn't pick it out the blue. My choices that I were looking at was either Sika, Yellow Speed, or Strut Masters. Strut Masters was the first one that I saw because that's what everybody talked about. That's the first thing that pops up when you research it. But that's not a company I think I would choose at this time until they change their system, because right now their system is not adjustable. You can't adjust the coilovers on the system. So the ride height that you get with Strut Masters, that's what you're stuck with. So for right now, that's what made me choose Yellow Speed, because Yellow Speed is adjustable and Strut Masters isn't. So that's why I went with that. Sika is another brand. They're good. They're really good. But I don't know. I don't know exactly why I didn't choose Sika. I just think Yellow Speed was just what I wanted to go with, to be honest with you. But next time I get another one of these cars, I will try Sika on them if I decide to change out the ABC. We'll see how that goes. But for right now, Yellow Speed is what I went with. And also my total cost. Now for Yellow Speed, I think that might have been another reason why I went Yellow Speed, because it was cheaper than Sika. Not by much though. But I believe Yellow Speed total cost for the struts to be delivered was about $1,600, I believe. And then for the pump, I believe I paid like $200 for the pump. So about $1,800 total, because I did all the work myself. It's about $1,800 total to do the conversion. So yeah, I believe I did get the pump from an E500. I know it was an E-Class. I just can't remember off the top of my head which E-Class I got it from. But it was the same power steering pump. But I bought mine brand new. It didn't come off of a car. Let me clear that up. I didn't buy it used off of an E500. I bought it brand new for an E500 and just put it on my car. It was basically the same thing. But if it was the E500, I believe that's what I did, because it was brand new when I bought it. But yeah, total installation and everything, it only cost me about $1,800 with including the pump, because I did all the work myself. Now, if you take it to somebody else, it's gonna cost you, because I know people charge a pretty penny to put these coilovers in, which they're easy, they're simple. It's basically plug and play when you put these in. Some people go the extra step and put the sway bars in. I mean, that's totally up to you. My personal opinion, you don't need them, but I'm pretty sure the ride's better. One day I might switch and put them in, but I don't think I'm gonna do that no time soon, because I just redid the whole front end of my car. So my whole front end is brand new, and I don't want to touch it again unless I have to. So that's basically what I did. Yeah, so yeah, $1,800 out the box. Put it on myself. That's all it costs. from IE Media. Thanks for the advice. My ABC is still going after 2 years of ownership, but I know it's only a matter of time, so I'll most definitely end up with coilovers. Well, I mean, as long as your ABC is running fine, I wouldn't touch it. If it needs, if like something like, let me just say this, because I think some people get it confused when I talk about the ABC system. As long as your ABC system is running fine, don't touch it. I would leave it alone personally. If like something simple as a valve block go, or accumulator goes or something like that, and you gotta be careful with those accumulators, because I have seen them blow out fenders on cars from blowing out. So that's another thing you gotta be careful with that car, but that's another story. But it's something simple, I would just repair it. But like if your ABC pump go, or one of your struts go, or something, a major component goes on the car and it's gonna be super expensive to fix, you gotta outweigh the cost. Like, is it cheaper to fix it, or is it cheaper to replace it? That's what you gotta look at. But I'm glad your ABC is still going strong. Just keep it maintained, change the fluid out, change the filters, keep it in tip-top shape. And like I said, if you gotta cross that road, you know what to do already. Just watch the videos. I explain to you what to do. But you can always come on here and ask a question, and I'll try to do my best to answer it as soon as I can. Okay, this one is from Johnny Soporno. Don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but we'll see. I've owned two CL55 AMG myself, a 2001 normally aspirated one, and a 2004 compressor model. The ABC was absolutely the best feature of 350 horsepower version, but to be honest, it was not quite as awe-inspiring on the 2004 model. Not because it wasn't just amazing, providing unparalleled comfort and handling, but because the supercharger added so much insane fun, because I already had grown accustomed to it and had begun to take it for granted by the time I upgraded to the newer. So in essence, I gladly own another normally aspirated CL55 so long as it had a perfectly working ABC. If there wasn't a ludicrously overpowered compressor model available, or I downgrade to an E55 compressor, the CL model deserves the ABC. It's incredibly fine, which it is. ABC is fine. But like I said, it's to each his own. Like, not every CL out there is going to have a perfect ABC system. A lot of them have a lot of problems. A lot of people run into a lot of issues. That's why there's a market for coilovers for these cars. Some people just don't want to deal with it. I mean, it's a car. Not everybody is a purist or as big as an enthusiast of some people about these cars. Some people just want to drive them and have fun. Some people, car is just a weekend car. Some people drive it every day. It depends on what you want to do with the car. So, I mean, I don't try to get into it too much with people arguing about ABC. It is what it is. It's like everybody has their own preference. That's what you like. That's what you like. So, it is what it is. I'm going to leave it at that. But thanks for the comment. I appreciate you watching. This one's from DJ Scratch Sing. Nice info, bro. I keep fixing my ABC. Laughing emoji. Yeah, I know. But, I mean, if it's worth it, it's worth it. You be the judge of that. Jay Williams, remove the ABC system and never look back. So have I. Donnie Hagen. Great vid. Last year, I paid $2,500 for an otherwise mint CL500 with only 104,000 on the clock because the seller got tired of the ABC system failures. He said he had spent almost $10K in ABC repair bills in 2 years. The system was down again. I got an excellent deal on a set of in-the-box Strutmaster coilovers with the delete module because the seller bought them and then totaled the car before he could install them. My only complaint is the ride height in the front, but I'm completely satisfied with the handling. I did do the front sway bar because I already had the parts available on a 220 I bought to part out. Like you, I wanted to know, and I or my wife could get in the car and just drive without worrying if the dash was going to go red. I've got 4 other Mercedes-Benz 68 280 SC, 94 S500, 95 SL320, 98 E320. Now I enjoy the CL the most. If I had to replace current coilovers, I'd probably choose yellow speed simply because of the height adjustability, but for now I'm fine. And like I said, everybody has their own opinion about it. Like, this guy, he loves his car, and I'm sure he's having fun with it with the yellow speeds on it or whatever, or with the strut masters on it. I personally didn't like the strut masters for the same reason, because the ride height, you can't adjust it. But it does come with the delete module, so you won't have the red light on the dash, which is good. So, you know, I'm glad for you. I'm glad you keep enjoying your car, man. Good for you. Oh, Wilbert Wilson. Debating if I should convert to coilovers on my 2006 CL500. Right now, the left front will sink down after setting for a couple of weeks. Will come right back up once the car started and put it in gear. Probably a valve blocks that needs rebuilding. Tough decision. I inherited the car, so I don't mind putting a little bit of money into fixing the ABC. If it's something as simple as valve blocks, fix it. The ABC system is a great system. So, you know, I would fix it. But if it comes to where it's more expensive to replace it, I mean, like I said, you got to do the cost. You know, if it's cheaper to replace it than fix it, I will replace it. But if it's something simple to fix, just go ahead and fix it, man. Okay, so this next one is from Captain Sean. Name kind of suspect, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Captain Sean. All right. But, you know, it is what it is. Just joking. But, I just sold my CL55 that I put yellow speed coilovers on. Around 125,000 miles on ABC with dozens of repairs, leaving me stranded several times. Around 100,000 miles with coilovers is zero issues. I repeat, not one issue. And yes, I've owned several sports cars and can assure you that sway bars are not necessary with yellow speed. The entire suspension travel is only a few inches, so there is no body roll. I'm telling y'all, some of y'all be thinking I be making this stuff up, but you really don't need the sway bars. I mean, if you give you peace of mind, go ahead, put it on, but you really don't need them. Unless you're going to be out there dropping crazy, which sway bars ain't going to save you no way. But, yeah, man, I'm telling you, man, it ain't just me. It's a lot of people that goes through this with these cars and get stranded. And they be sitting on the side of the road because suspension went out. Because once that suspension goes out, you're done. You're dead in the water. You cannot drive the car. The car's sitting on the ground. And God forbid it's the ABC pump where the pulley seizes up. Then that's going to tear up pretty much everything that's on that belt line. Like, you're going to have a whole ton of issues. So, and like I said, with the accumulators, there's a video out there on YouTube about an accumulator exploding and tearing up the fender on the car. It's not pretty. There's issues with those systems, but like I said, if you maintain them and keep them up, they're great. But not everybody's going to do that, I know, because not everybody pockets are that deep where they can, especially in this day and age in 2022, as high as everything is, high as gas, food, cost of living. I mean, let's be real. Everybody's not going to have the money to do that. And you can't expect everybody to, because everybody's situation is different. So I just don't like when people try to shame people about those cars and try to tell them they can't afford them, they shouldn't have them. You sound dumb saying that, because if you can afford the car, you can afford the car. Simple as that. That's nonsense when people say that. But enjoy your cars, guys. That's all I got to say. Okay, this one's from Ralph Jr. Do you have the Dynamic Sport Pro coilovers or the Super Low? I have, and he's talking about the yellow speed racing coilovers. I have the Dynamic Pro Sport coilovers. I've never seen the Super Low, but never even heard of them. But I'm gonna check them out and see what they're about. But yeah, I have the Dynamic Sport Pro. Another little comment from Fair Game 70 says, bro, you did a good job. However, this would have been a great informative video if you showed the work being done so we know how to do it. And he's talking about me doing the ball joints and control arms, which I understand. that's something I'm trying to work on, being better at showing what I do. I try to explain it as best I can, but when you're under the car with a cell phone, with limited space, because my car sits low to the ground because I got it lowered with the yellow speeds on there, and it is hard getting under there trying to record and work on the car at the same time. So I apologize for that. I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna get better equipment one day in the future. It's not on my top to-do list right now because I got other things I'm working on, but we're gonna get there with this channel eventually. Like I said, this channel started out actually as a hobby for me during COVID because everybody was stuck home. I was still working, but couldn't go nowhere. Couldn't go out to restaurants, couldn't go to movies. So I decided to start this YouTube channel. Had the car, why not? Gave me something to do so I wouldn't be bored out my mind. And, it's been building from there slowly, but, we'll get there. But, next question from One Day Ume. He's asking about the exhaust on the car. When I did the exhaust, he asked, did you remove the cats too? No, I did not remove the cats. Cats are still on the car. Everything else is gone from the cats on back to the car. So I got the X pipes put in, 2.5-inch pipes, and the tips that you see on the car. That's it. And I've been getting a lot of compliments about how the car sounds too. For those of you who was kind of skeptical about it, I didn't think I was, to be honest with you, I kept the original mufflers because I didn't think I was going to keep it like that. But man, just the other day I had this old guy walk up to me when I turned the car on, and he was like, man, that sounds great. I mean, I get all kind of compliments about the car, so I think I'm going to keep it like that for now. I am thinking about putting some Borla exhaust on it just to see how it sounds, if it's going to change anything. But for right now, with just straight pipe from the cats on back with the X pipe, man, the car sounds amazing, especially on the highway, because you could hear the little burbles and pops when you let off the gas after hitting the accelerator real hard. Sounds great. But thanks for the comment. All right, this is another one from Julio Padilla. He asking again about the let me get the camera. Let me get the tablet out of the camera. He's asking again about the steering pump and how did I plug the lines to the struts. Well, yes, I replaced the steering pump, and no, I did not plug the lines to the struts. I drained them and I blew them out with air so there's no fluid in them, so it wouldn't be leaking all over the place. But yeah, once you replace the pump, and you just take a little air hose, blow out the lines. Excuse me. Yeah, you ain't gotta plug the lines. You really don't have to. So, yeah. This one's from Crunchy Kyle. You know how far I can go before the check engine light comes on? And he's asking about the muffler delete and the X pipe being put in and all that. The engine light won't come on. As long as you don't mess with the cats, your engine light won't come on. You can delete your mufflers, you can delete your resonators, but as soon as you touch those cats with the oxygen sensors attached to them, you're going to get a check engine light. And I did not touch that. I left the cats alone. Eventually, I'm going to be deleting the cats. Not right now, because I got other plans with this car I'm going to do. But yeah, for now, I just left the cats alone. As long as you leave them alone, you ain't got to worry about the check engine light coming on. But they do have ways you could bypass that. But, I mean, I really wouldn't, unless you put long tube headers on the car, I wouldn't touch the cats. I would leave the cats on there. The car breathes excellent the way it is now without the resonator and the mufflers on there. You wouldn't believe how much it restricts this car. As soon as you delete those, it's like a new car. So I'm pretty sure it added just a little bit of horsepower to it, but it gave it enough to where it gives it a little extra boost. I can tell you that. I promise you that. But yeah, that's it, man. That's all the questions I have. As far as the car right now, the next project that I need to do is my radiator fan. Radiator fan went out on my car. So dealerships wants $1,000 for it. You know I'm not going that route. I'm not paying $1,000 for a damn radiator fan. What I did do, my first place I went to was FCP Euro, but they're out. They're all out. And why I like going to them is because they give you a lifetime warranty. This is not a plug for them. This is just my personal opinion. They give you a lifetime warranty with your parts, whatever you buy for them. So that's usually who I go to first. But they're all on. It says back order, so they don't have any. So my next option was either eBay or Amazon. And I'm going to tell you guys, I buy a lot of parts for this car off of eBay and Amazon. You'd be surprised. And they're the same parts you would get from all these other dealers. So don't judge eBay or Amazon because they still got good quality parts. You just got to know which brands to go with because they do have cheap brands that you don't want to touch. But they still got the good ones out there too. But so the radiator fan went out. So what I plan on doing, since I have to take that, most of you guys know how I like to do is one and done. If I'm going to replace this, I'm going to replace everything. So I went ahead and ordered a water pump. Got that. Got my thermostat. Got that. Got my top radiator hose. I'm going to replace that. I'm going to go ahead and order my fan. Replace that. And probably get a new coolant tank while I'm at it. What the hell. And I might even do the radiator. So just replace everything while I'm in there. Because while I got it apart, I don't want to be having to go back in here and redo this stuff over and over and over. So I'm probably going to cut these up into a couple of videos when I do this. I'm going to go ahead and order my fan first. And like I said, I already got the water pump, thermostat, and the top water hose. So only thing left I got to do is order the radiator. Some of these parts takes a while to come in, like the fan. I know the fan's going to take a little while to come in because nobody has them. Everybody's pretty much out of these fans because I guess they don't make them no more. But the only places that do make them, I believe, might be overseas. Not 100% sure on that, but I've been looking, and everybody who carries them are out, or they have some different type of version. I don't want a different type of version. I want the OEM style fan, so I could just plug it in. And there's a problem that I found out about these fans while mine went out, because it's crazy. But I'm gonna show y'all that in that video, and we'll talk about that then. But thank you guys for all the comments. I appreciate all the love and support. Like I said, I apologize I haven't been making videos. It's been a while. It's too hot for me to be outside right now, so trying to take it easy, get everything in order. But it's starting to cool off a little bit. It's August right now, so we'll see. I might get out there and do a couple things with the car, do videos for y'all, and get this channel back rolling, because I know it's been a while since I made a video last. But thank you guys. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, keep the comments coming. I'm gonna start checking them a few times a week now, whenever I get a chance to, so I can answer y'all questions as quickly as possible. So until next time, guys, y'all stay safe. I'm out.